You know what really grinds my gears?
When you said, you know what kills me, I was going to say, cancer? What really grinds your gears?
No, it's just an observation. You can tell which fast food restaurant somebody has purchased from, like when they bring it in to a small enclosed space, right?
By the smell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Wendy's smells different than McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah, it's different kind of bad filth. Like,
Regardless of bad filth or not, isn't that kind of strange? Like it's meat, bread, lettuce, tomato, pickles, chicken.
I don't think you're smelling the sandwich so much as like the oil on the fries.
See, do you think that's what it is, the different oil?
Yeah, it'd be my guess.
Well, I know McDonald's got in a lot of trouble for putting beef flavoring or whatever in their oil.
I'm not surprised
to make their fries. Yeah, the vegans had a field day with it.
Oh, for being vegans.
You think we're supposed to eat meat?
No, you think we're supposed to?
I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
think we're supposed to.
I think so too, but we haven't always cooked it, and I don't know. There's like all these.
I don't know. I mean, if we weren't supposed to, why do we have the teeth for it?
Right.
Like everybody else in nature has teeth, like ours eats meat, so let's eat some meat.
Speaking of meat, how do you feel about zoos?
Zoos. I like zoos. I'm cool with them.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jay.
And this is arguably correct.
That was kind of an odd intro, but I like it. I think we went a little different today. A little different in this
Took a little
episode.
turn, try something a little different there.
And again, if people want to be vegan, I have no problem with it. I'm not anti-vegan. I didn't know we were going to record that part. So, I mean, it's cool if they want to eat vegan. I don't choose to participate because steak.
There's a guy on YouTube who he's very funny, but he says, "What if meat eaters went around acting like vegans?" Have you seen that guy, the redheaded guy? I can't really give his name. Sorry, I can't give you a plug, dude. And I'm sure you'll never hear this episode, but hey, that's fine. What's
You have in your hands?
Yeah, and can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, I'll stop doing that.
I don't know what is it. You have
my watch.
balls? It's your watch. Okay.
Yeah, I'm clipping my watch.
All right.
Nervous habit.
All right. No, you're fine. I was like, what the fuck is it?
I need a fidget toy.
Well,
but
come across the table, sweetheart.
I need. Man,
I broke you. You weren't ready for that one.
I wasn't ready for it at all. Excuse me.
So yeah, zoos. You got a problem with them?
I love them. I love going. I love seeing the animals. I love the things that I learn. You know, even as a kid, I can remember some of the things that I learned going to a zoo.
Very, very educational.
Absolutely. But the older I get, the more like reality sets in. You know, there's a polar bear here at our local zoo that just paces back and forth.
He's fucking bored.
Yeah, and it breaks my heart every time I see him. It's like, oh man, I get like you're here. At least that's the premise, right? That's kind of how they sell it. Oh, they're here because we're helping perpetuate their species and learning and researching.
Are polar bears close to extinction?
Well, they're not close. They're in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
All right.
pick on polar bears, but you know the ice caps are melting because you know Donald Trump uses too much hairspray with the CFCs in it.
I was not expecting that.
With the hole in the ozone. Whatever happened to the ozone? You don't hear shit about the ozone anymore, but that's a whole other subject.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I assume it's still there. We're still alive.
Yeah, right. I don't know. But yeah, I watch it. It makes me feel bad. And I try to remind myself that he's, you know, his sacrifice, well, I mean, forced sacrifice
there's that.
Is
helping, He's a fucking polar bear.
Helping perpetuate his species, right?
Well, we let him go and just be like, hey, you're free. And then 5 minutes later, poachers are like, hey, thanks. Boom.
Well, it just...
Do they poach polar bears?
Yeah, they get poached too.
Okay.
I'm sure. You know, they're in these such small habitats that aren't, you know, truly indicative of where they're from. I mean, here we are in, you know, Northwest Ohio. Admittedly, 6 months out of the year, it is polar bear territory, like right now. But, you know, when it becomes 110 degrees in July, not so much.
Yeah. Well, they have refrigerated things for them, right? They're not like putting them out and...
Well, I truly don't know the entire answer to that. I would assume too. And, but still, it breaks my heart.
Like they don't put the reptiles out like right now, like just let them wander around on the ice. Like they're not going to make it. You know?
And you look at the reptiles, man. Those snakes. Now, I'm not a snake fan, but I still feel bad for a snake that's in a 10-gallon aquarium, and that's where he's going to spend the rest of his life. Its life, I guess.
Well, that's why I was
them,
like,
they, those.
Equating to zoos, like according to your own logic, like people having birds or dogs or cats. That's similar. You're
is very
caring for
similar.
that animal, but you're not letting them be wild and run free. You're keeping them in captivity. At least for zoos,
Well,
you're
generally
learning
speaking,
something.
though, most of those animals are domesticated animals.
Which
I mean,
ones?
not the dogs, cats, birds.
Now because we've forced them into it.
We have, and I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, but I mean, there's still an element of wild species out there that aren't domesticated. Polar bears.
In Detroit.
Yeah,
We
there
learned
probably
that a
is.
couple episodes ago.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that would be an interesting episode too. How long does it take for an animal to become undomesticated? I don't know the answer. I'd like to research some of that. Be interesting.
Sounds like an argument for evolution there, where you could alter the course of evolution.
Are you really altering the course of evolution, or is it just evolution happening?
Well, if you directly involve yourself in like domesticating dogs, then I'd say that we stepped in and domesticated dogs.
We'll have to keep that, pin that one for another episode. Yeah. But so aside from domesticated animals, I do it breaks my heart to see these animals in these small enclosures, and I think our zoo does a great job of it. They do a lot of research there. I mean, it's that's proven. They do a lot of research. They have as good a habitat you could probably expect from this, the size of zoo that they are.
Sure.
They don't tend to shove a lot of animals into a small space. They try to give them as much room as possible.
I feel like zoos are there to rescue a species of animal, to gather them up, to help them, to perpetuate them, to keep them going, and they'd be doing it anyway. And they're like, well, while we're already doing it, why don't we have the public come in, pay to see these exotic animals they don't normally get to see? We'll make some money to help us in our endeavor. I don't think it's let's grab animals and charge people to look at them.
Now, see, I think that's
like
a
circus tent.
That's a very narrow viewpoint, because I think that's how many zoos have you been to?
Like 4, maybe 5.
And according to this little research that I did right before we did here, was over 10,000 zoos exist worldwide, right?
Wow.
And of those 10,000, a lot of them don't have enough money to finance research. They are just exactly what you said they are.
Really?
They are money making, to provide a financial stream of money.
Are they still grabbing animals that need help as far as like getting something that's...
Well, yeah. I mean, they have endangered. I'm sure they have, elephants, tigers.
So they're still helping.
Well, not really helping. They're not perpetuating the species except in captivity for them to be able to. They're not adding to the research. They're not adding to the collective, right? And they're not bringing in money and putting that money towards
but if they weren't
saving
there,
the species.
Wouldn't those animals have been more than likely been killed?
But they're taking them out of the wild.
Well, there's that. They're changing how they act, especially if you're born in captivity.
Right. I mean, when you think of American zoos, generally speaking, I think they're probably along that line of, for continuation of species research, things like that.
Yeah.
Right here in our own neighborhood, we have the safari,
the wildlife park.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite say that's
Does
a
that
research
count as a
facility.
zoo?
I mean, it does. I would say yes.
I think that's just a dude with like really cool dogs.
But they're not domesticated animals.
Those are. They come right up to your car. They eat shit out of your hands.
That's not the definition of domesticated.
Well, it works for me.
No, that's not that's not domesticated.
They're not eating me, so I'm happy with that.
I'm sure if you were to throw a couple of those alfalfa pellets in the right place, they'd probably chew you to death just to get them.
And I didn't get out of the car. Actually, I haven't gone.
No, I've never been to it either. That one kind of bothers me.
I've driven past it multiple times, but I haven't.
Then we had, it used to be a thing that you could have, lions and tiger people that would take in. Oh my, and bears, right? They would take in animals that people shouldn't have had, but so they give them a place to live and they, let them live out the existence of their life. Yeah. And now that they've made that illegal in Ohio, because that one guy went nuts and basically let all his animals go. And
didn't he have like panthers and shit too? He had like some serious.
There's some very.
I don't know if it was panthers, but they were like tigers and
very big feline.
Yeah.
Out there roaming the streets.
Like not good, man.
And then I believe a couple of them had to be, shot because they couldn't capture them again. And
oh, really? It sounds to me like they weren't domesticated enough. But I think in general, and I don't know about other country zoos. I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, I've seen videos of like the cigarette smoking chimpanzees and the shit where they keep them chained up forever, and that's not helpful at all to anybody.
But how can you? So if a zoo is supposed to be, helping research, how can they research this animal that isn't in its own natural environment, right? You're taking it out of the wild and putting it in captivity. It's going to react differently, right? Sure. So you can't study that animal and study its behavior as clearly, in the zoo. Or at least I shouldn't say as clearly, but as accurately in a confined space versus in the wild.
I don't think they're there studying behavior. I think they pretty much have already studied that out in the wild enough that they know how they behave, and that's why they try to set the habitats up to be as close to that as possible. I think that they're doing maybe more medical, and they're just doing it again to keep them away from being.
I don't think you're right.
Run over and poached to death.
I don't think you're right. I mean, I think so. There's a lot of animals out there that you can't observe in certain aspects of their habitat because it's just not conducive for it, or they're nocturnal. You can't see them, and they're very elusive.
We got night vision.
I understand we have night vision, but they're very elusive, and we haven't been able to document these types of like mating behaviors and things like that.
But they have to know that if by putting them in captivity, you're going to change the outcome.
Correct.
They can't be that dumb.
So why are they there?
Well, again, protection.
Okay, you're protecting 2 elephants.
Okay, but that's 2 more
that they bred in captivity.
We've
but you're not protecting. You're protecting them that you bred in captivity just to have them.
Species have been wiped out.
They have
from poachers, yes. And if you keep them in captivity and breed them, can you
so
eventually?
If you're breeding them to put them back into the wild,
couldn't that
be? But they don't do that.
Couldn't that be a thing eventually? Well, they don't do it now because it's not safe.
What do you mean it's not safe? Because of the poachers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when would it ever be safe?
Well, when we get people to stop poaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Just hold on for a better future, man. No, I have more of a problem with SeaWorld than I do zoos.
SeaWorld's the same thing.
No, it's not.
How?
SeaWorld, that seems like an entertainment thing.
Seems like you feel. So you're getting into the feels here, aren't we?
Jesus
no, I think it's just the same thing. They do. I will tell you, SeaWorld, gets a lot of credit for doing
for profit.
They also do a lot of good things. They do a lot of rescues, rehabs, and return back to the wild. They do that as well. So they do good things. I know you probably watched that, Blackfin or whatever it was.
I did not watch that.
No, I haven't either, but I heard it was...
I read kind of a synopsis on it and got a rough idea. But I mean, it made them seem more evil just from what I read. And I didn't research a whole lot. You're right. It's not high on my list of things to worry about.
I just don't think they're much different than zoos.
I feel like
at least as a generally speaking. I think there are very well-to-do, very great zoos that do amazing work for every animal species there is, but I don't think...
So yeah, let's say we don't have zoos, say we get rid of them. Let's just go with that argument. Okay, they're bad, so they're all done. And obviously we don't just let shit run wild in St. Louis or in Toledo or in the Central Park Zoo all of a sudden just open the gates and be like, good luck, fuckers. Wouldn't be good. But let's say we put them all back in their habitats or do whatever we got to do, and there's no more zoos. How many species do you think we would lose because we're not there helping them and protecting them? And if you're getting rid of zoos, don't we also have to get rid of the wildlife refuges? Like the one for the chimps, there's one for elephants. These are over in South Africa.
A refuge is different. I mean, that's just a protected land that is managed to make sure that
it's just fucking small.
Very small.
Yeah, the ones the one of
but
the refuge,
a lot of those refuges, they don't have fences.
Oh really?
No,
how the fuck do they keep them in?
They don't.
How the fuck's it a refuge? It's the wild then.
It is the wild, but it's an area of the wild that's protected. Just like there's game preserves and stuff like that by people and manage that area. You'd be surprised once animals realize that this is a safer area. They'll tend to stay in that area.
Okay.
Because hey, you go over there and you get shot. You stay over here, you don't get shot. Well, eventually, all the ones that don't want to go over there stay here. That's evolution. We were talking about earlier.
I've seen that.
Right.
I've seen that with deer.
Right. It seems like hunting season. They all just hang out somewhere else for a while.
Oh, right? At my old house, there were woods. The driveway went back about a mile and a half, and there's woods on one side, and that person did not allow any hunters. And there's woods on the other side, and they did. And the side that had no hunting allowed, fucking packed full of those dumb fucking inbred things. They were everywhere. And the other side was usually pretty scarce. So yeah, I have seen that. Within a matter of 100 yards, one side or the other, you could look over and see a bunch over here and not see very many on this side. So I'm sure that they do. They learn a little anyway. They haven't learned to stay out of the fucking road yet. But
yeah,
maybe we'll get there.
One of their predators is a Buick.
yes, it is. The old Buick. We're back.
Old Buick. That's a good callback. I mean, I go to them. I frequent them. I
don't frequent them, but I've been to a couple, and it's a fun day.
I don't necessarily go to them frequently, but I frequent them. But I suppose that's minutia, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Anyway,
I'm saying I've probably been to a zoo, I'm gonna say 10 times in my life. That's it.
To me, it's like having a dog in a kennel in your house. It doesn't get to run to the house. It's always in the kennel. It stays in there. It's just, I mean, that's how it makes me feel.
Which is a terrible thing to do to a dog. Don't get me wrong. But
Right. Just keep it in the bigger part of the house. Don't let it.
But letting your dog run through the entire house, it's just a bigger fucking kennel.
Right.
It's
True.
still a kennel.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm more upset about people who live like in New York City that have, greyhounds and take them out for little walks around the block and that's it. And they live, those dogs aren't meant to be, or whatever.
Right.
The dogs that have a lot of energy that need to be out moving around.
You wouldn't be surprised how many of those dogs never leave the apartment.
Well, where do they shit?
Yeah, exactly. They put pads. Where do you think those wee pads come from? It's not to break a.
I thought it was just a train. Oh, that's disgusting. How the fuck do you live in that house?
I mean, they keep up on the pads just like you do a litter box or anything else like that.
Oh, but that's
they also have this little like
litter boxes are fucking disgusting.
I've seen this little.
Hey, here's a dry toilet. Please shit in my house a bunch, and when it gets too full, I'll pick through. Oh, nope, gross.
I have seen them be able to train the litter box up to the toilet, and the cat basically takes care of it in the toilet, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Can they flush?
Yeah, I've seen videos of them teaching them to flush.
You think you just like train cats that could do that and then sell them? You make a fucking fortune. Like, poof, here's a litter train.
So yeah, you see
here's
there,
a toilet trained cat.
In the old classified ads, dog, house broken.
Yeah,
Cats,
exactly.
House, toilet broken.
Yeah, ready to go for a toilet.
But no, they make these little grass mats that you put in your apartment. They're AstroTurf, obviously.
Oh, okay.
And they'll have like a little fire hydrant on one side, or something to pee on, because the male dogs want to pee on something, and then you put the pads down there and you change the pads out. I know, I'm not really a big fan of it either.
Why even have a dog at that point?
I mean, again, some dogs are so small you can't really let them out because, for instance,
a bird will swoop down and take them. Yeah,
absolutely. That's not even a joke. I mean, that's a true thing.
In New York, what do you think? A pigeon's gonna come by and pick up your fucking chihuahua?
A hawk.
Okay,
all,
right,
all day long, man.
A hawk could.
My mom, you're gonna get picked on here. My mom had a very small dog, and she would comment. She'd put the dog out in the little run and would look up there, and there was a bird that just sat there and watched. And she's like, what are you gonna do? Tell it no and run after it, hit it.
Shoot it.
What, the bird?
Yeah, well, yeah, not the dog. Of course not the dog, the bird.
But the bird, it's in the wild. It's doing its thing, man. Why should it die because you have a small dog and that's dinner?
Well, to show off to other bird friends, that's not food.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I have giant dogs. It doesn't matter.
I can tell you this, though. In the last 20 years, I see a hell of a lot more birds of prey than I've ever can remember before that. And a lot more bald eagles around here. A gazillion more bald eagles.
I wonder if the zoos helped out at all.
No, the removal of DDT is what really helped out. Yeah,
is it?
And all
you don't mean the wrestling
nest
thing.
Management programs that they don't actually. The nest management programs, they're not in a zoo. They actually go and while they still live in the wild and observe them, their natural habitat, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it has repopulated the area, but as a consequence of that, I see a hell of a lot less stray cats.
Oh,
I can remember as a
sense.
teenager, man, going down the county roads, there was farm cats on the road every day.
Well, there still are.
Not as I don't see as many.
I live out here. There's still a fuck ton of farm cats.
Like I'm saying on the street dead.
Oh, I don't know. I don't count.
I mean, I would see them. I would see them all the time.
I usually stop and look to see what the mess is. I just see the mess and go by it.
Well, admittedly, when I was in photography class,
no,
I actually did a series on roadkill. But
a series on roadkill.
Yeah, I tried to be
You are a serial killer. Fucking hell!
I thought, what is the most unique thing that I could do?
That's unique.
There's a caveat here. I didn't do the assignment when I was supposed to do the assignment. I was on my way to the class.
Okay.
So I had to figure out how I could do the assignment on the way to class and still be unique because the assignment was to be something unique. So I thought, well, I'll just take, photos
great.
of all the roadkill on the way to school.
That's phenomenal.
And
how many were there?
I had like 6 rolls of film. I don't remember the total
you took
quantity.
multiple pictures of each.
Yeah,
okay.
different settings,
like
etc., etc.
300 road kills on the way to work.
No, probably a good 8, probably 6 or 8. So yeah,
that's insane.
It's in the story. I got a C.
That's not bad.
She didn't even want to. No, she only gave me a C because I did that much of it.
She just didn't want to look at them.
She said she was done after the first one. That's the most disgusting thing she had seen in a long time.
Do you still have the pictures?
I have the negatives.
I want them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to knock them out, man. They're all black and white.
I'm just curious. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I still have some negatives from back in those days.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some of those. That'd be. We should post those up.
It was a matter of utility, man. Or I needed the assignment to be done. I didn't want to get I'm really terrible about doing homework because I think it's stupid.
So that's why nothing was set up today for video.
See, some say I'm lazy, and then they gave me this great diagnosis of ADHD, so I can tell other people I'm not just lazy.
Yeah,
I have a disability.
Okay.
I think I just have an ability to not necessarily do the work I should always do all the time.
Maybe you just do what you want to do. What's wrong with that?
Well, we won't go there.
That's fine. Yeah,
we have 2 episodes out of this one little thing here.
Right.
So I'm not against zoos. I go
fuck them all. Let's tear them down right now. Let's burn them to the ground. Oh no! Take the animals out first.
Oh, okay. I'm like, well, you're talking about barbecue earlier, so we're back to KFC here.
That was yeah. When you first brought up the subject of the zoos, I don't think that was on tape anywhere, but
I
still stay on tape.
I should have looked it up. I wonder what species the zoos have saved. I did read when I was at the Toledo Zoo. They were talking about a certain frog that zoo was very instrumental in repopulating, and saving.
So it did its job.
A frog. I don't doubt that they are out there. I don't doubt that they do some good. What I do doubt is that is the, what do you call it, the overarching majority. I don't think so. I think some of the more first world countries that have zoos, maybe.
I think we're surrounded by better zoos. I didn't know there were 10,000 fucking zoos. That's a lot of zoos.
The world's a big place, man.
Well, yeah, but how many zoos are around here? I mean, you gotta travel a minute.
Dude, there's Toledo, Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit.
There's not the small towns in between. Is there a Dayton Zoo? Is there an Akron Zoo? I mean, not every city has a zoo.
Not every city has a zoo, but I don't know. I guess is that in that number of 10? Well, again, 10,000. Are you including the guy with the safari? Probably not. I mean, if you've ever been down south too, like some of
the gator farms,
yeah. I mean,
those zoos?
And there's zoos because some of the ones I went to, they have all kinds of different animal species on display. Yeah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's a zoo to me, right?
Are they doing good? Do you think? Are they there just for
the
entertainment?
I would say that's probably more entertainment. I would say that's probably the case.
This is where you start thinking about, the interplanetary. Are we just a zoo? People driving by checking us out. That's what UFOs are. They're just visitors. They're tapping on the glass. Look at these dumb things.
I wonder what Steve Irwin would say.
You almost baited me into making the joke, and I'm not going to do it.
No, I don't know what the joke is, but I'm kind of curious what it is now.
Because he was underwater, and that's all you could hear, and then that was it.
Terrible.
Sorry. Well, you fucking baited me into it. And
I did. That was just a bad joke.
It was.
It was a very stabbing joke. You need to put
Okay. I almost put my beer all over the equipment.
Don't do that.
No. So we got to move on. This thing's crashing. So I think zoos still do more good than bad. At least the ones that I've been to are the bigger ones. So what do you think should be done to the zoos that the apparently 9,000 zoos that suck?
Here's what I can say. If you could take the larger animals is where I start having a problem with it, because you can create a fairly decent sized environment for a frog, right? A frog's natural, territory is probably going to be fairly small.
I don't know.
Generally speaking,
they probably travel a little bit, don't you think?
I don't think they go that far.
No,
I don't.
Have a square mile.
When you're talking about like an elephant, or things like that walk and cover
20, 30 miles a day or whatever. Yeah.
A large territory. That's where I think, well, maybe we'd be better off with having, 1 or 2 locations that specialize in larger animals that give them the range and the territory. So if we're going to do the research, why don't we do it in a way that better suits the animal?
In a borderless refuge.
Borderless. I'm saying maybe there's an in between. Maybe we should, because it's some of these. And again, as good as our zoo does, and they're fabulous. I love them. Not putting them down.
Oh,
our
zoo.
Okay. It's from what I can tell, as good as ours does. that's one of the things I like about it is they don't try to shove a whole bunch of things into a small area. They do the best to give them as large area as they can.
Yeah, it seems like they're a very helpful place that is.
I would agree with that. I think that is one of the places.
One, the utmost care for the animals that they have, and two, they really do try to help animals that are extinct or having issues with extinction.
I go back.
Why are they going extinct? Because we're fucking overpopulated. We're taking over all the room.
Territory, not all the room. I don't know. That's a whole other podcast too.
Same thing.
I mean, if you take all the human,
that's why there are zoos now. Maybe that's not why they started.
We take over their land. That's for sure.
Yeah, we push them out of the way.
But if they could evolve to live somewhere else, they'd be fine.
Shit takes time.
I know. Well, there's some argument about that too, about some quick evolution.
Like on the second day, all animals figured out how to do shit. No, it takes fucking time.
Maybe.
You said earlier that the animals will learn where they can go and where they can't go. So I'm sure that didn't happen in just, one person didn't show up and take down a deer and they were all like, fuck it, let's go over here. And they're like, oh, we seem safe. Like it takes.
Well, that deer
time.
Would not have been shot if he would have read his horoscope.
Are we doing horoscopes again? All right, I say we do the best out of 10, and then I don't know if I can handle anymore.
No? I'm with you there. It's waiting on me too.
I did have someone send me a full horoscope thing. I don't know what it's called.
Horoscope?
No, like a big thing, a chart thing.
Yeah.
A life chart or a fucking...
The write-up. It was 31 pages, right?
It's 31 pages.
Did you read it all?
No, fuck no.
No?
I will. I have it saved. I glanced through it. I got some laughs. I want to go... I appreciate it being sent. I appreciate that whatever work went into it, but even the little bit that I did read of it, it contradicted itself. Like one page said one thing, and then 3 pages later it said the exact fucking opposite. I'm like, are you serious? Well, that's because your son was in what? No, it's because you're just writing. Never mind.
So the one good argument that somebody gave to me about, is there anything good you can get out of astronomy, astrological chart, reading such things? And I think one of the biggest focuses is that if you're doing that, you're taking the time to be introspective and think about yourself. Even if it's not necessarily, I'm not saying like predict your future, like, oh yeah, and you think about, is that me? It's not really an excuse to say, and I've seen people do this, it's just the Virgo in me, or it's because I'm a Gemini. That's BS.
Punch him right in the face.
But, if anything, if people can lay out some kind of personality traits, be it, because the tea leaves said so or because the stars or wherever,
a way to better
but makes
yourself.
them start, better, exactly. If the idea...
But are they? Or are they just waiting for someone else to tell them what to do?
I think there's both camps.
Yeah.
I think there's both schools of thought there. I think some people are like...
We're getting way off of zoos.
We are, but
I like it.
We're getting into the horoscopes. And I thought that was an interesting perspective. It gets people to, look at themselves, be introspective, think about their lives. And I could see that you could, look at it from that positive way.
So I've learned, though, recently that I have the worst sign.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's been used as an argument against me that because I'm a Virgo, that's why I'm so skeptical of things. And I require so much...
Not because you're an asshole.
Evidence. Well, yeah. At least, hey, I'll own it being an asshole. I own that shit all day long.
It's in your stars.
Yeah. Fuck you. So, just by me saying that this is all bullshit, they're like, oh, well, of course, that's what you say. You're a Virgo, so that all Virgos say that. And it's like, now they've got this defense where they just discount anything that I say because, of course you say that. That's the kind of sign you are. Like, I don't say it because when I was, whatever it was when I was born, I say it because it's been proven to be wrong. Well, yeah, but you guys need proof. That's just how you are. You just can't just let go and fucking drives me crazy.
It's not very scientific.
They don't back it up at all.
And I would say that the person I know that's really into this, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna run with this. Tell me why. I hear your anecdotal evidence that you say, well, this matches that and this matches this, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But tell me how. Then the person says, well, we're X% made of water, and we know that the moon can affect the tide, so why can't and everybody I shouldn't say a lot of people agree that on a full moon people act differently and et cetera, et cetera. But the funny thing about that is like the moon, full or not full, is still affecting us on a science level. We're gonna go science. Correct. Here. The gravity is I don't want to say
It's the
the same
It's-
because it changes because it does vary in distance slightly, but
But that's like
it's
saying
not has nothing to do with the full or not full moon.
But that same argument is like when, and I've seen this video, is when a flat earther says, well, I did an experiment and I put a bowl of water down on my kitchen table and the moon didn't affect it, but it affects the tides, so I don't believe it. Because and that was his legitimate reason, was that it didn't, well, my bowl of water didn't move, so apparently the moon doesn't affect the tides. And I was just like, wow, dude, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. And I don't even, you can't talk to people like that.
Well, I couldn't get any science, even just a hypothesis.
There isn't any.
And I get it, but I was just hoping for a hypothesis, and that was it. That was the best hypothesis I could get was, the gravitational
Lucky
pull.
you got that.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't affect, it's not, that's not how it works.
No, it's not. Well, let's see how it works for you.
Where am I now? What am I?
So you got
I was
last week's wrong.
So I'm 2 for 1, or 1 for 2. I got 1 right and 2 wrong.
One, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So you're actually 1 for 3.
1 for 3?
You're 1 right out of 3. 1 right out of 3.
Okay.
You're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You're 1 and 2.
I'm 1 and 2.
We're 1 for 3. Yeah. Arguably, we're both correct, right?
Yeah, just different ways of. Yeah. 1 win, 2 losses. Let's go.
That's right. All right. So inner circle drama. I'm folding my. I'm trying to act this out for Jay. Inner circle drama. Conflict could intensify among a friend group as the sun gets into SmackDown with your ruling planet.
Please tell me it does not say SmackDown.
It does.
God fucking hell.
I didn't read it wrong. With your ruling planet, irrelevant Uranus.
You leave my irrelevant Uranus out of this.
Someone, you perhaps, may be disagreeing people's fit. Oh my God, who wrote this? A third grader? May be disregarding. A third grader reading at me. Someone, you perhaps, may be disregarding people's feelings. Ooh, sparking rivalries or totally ignoring agreed upon protocols.
Ooh.
Should you cut this person loose before they sink the whole ship, or cut and run yourself? Maybe first consider: are they delivering an inconvenient truth? If so, don't shoot the messenger. They could be the voice of much needed change. On Sunday, chill the champagne and release the balloons. I almost read something here. Your sign season begins Sunday as the sun blasts into the sign until this date. This is giving some things away. I should have proofreaded this. You can step off the emotional roller coaster you've been riding for the past month and breathe a sigh of relief. You're back on solid ground and ready to take new challenges. Set those personal goals, map out your route, or at least the first steps, and then hit the gas. Leave plenty of white space on your calendar, though. If you overbook yourself, you'll miss the best part of your birthday season: spontaneity.
Well, that's yours.
Shit. I redacted everything else but that, and I didn't think that was relative, but it is.
Yeah, my birthday's done. It's not coming up.
Well,
hey,
do you want the other one or no?
Sure, let's hear this, because now I know it's mine. So this is going to be a draw. I'm calling this as a tie. So now I'm 1, 2, and 1. I figured it out.
So these are both from the same website. I wanted to see like the compare and contrast between the two, right? So the first sentence in the first one was inner circle drama. The first sentence in yours is jealous much. Like, isn't that kind of exactly the same thing?
It doesn't
Inner
matter.
circle drama, jealous much. Saturday, and it had Uranus in it. That's why I chose it too.
Yeah.
Saturday's volatile sun. This one does. I can't even do this.
That's because they don't make. They're just
Saturday's
words
volatile
together.
sun Uranus square could stir up. I'm not reading this. Saturday's volatile sun Uranus square could stir up drama and rivalries. Again, didn't we have rivalries and drama? And the first sentence in the last one was inner
I'm
circle
still trying
drama.
to figure out what the fuck the first sentence meant.
Your Saturday's volatile sun Uranus square.
Who drew the square? Where the fuck the square come in?
I don't know.
Okay.
People are thin-skinned and prone to jumping to conclusions.
That's the truth. That is the first true thing I've heard in one of these.
It's because you could be paranoid about love interests or intentions, even tempered to snoop in their messages.
No, fuck no.
Or might pick a fight to make someone prove that they care.
Nope.
No, that's definitely not you.
Nope, I don't give
None
two
of these
fucks what you think.
None of these things will get you to the results you're hoping for, Virgo. I can say it now.
Did they call me Virgo?
They did.
You better back the fuck off there, computer. All right.
So the next thing is better to cool off than to say something you regret on Sunday. You'll finally be ready to commit commit to those self-care resolutions as the sun shifts into Aquarius and revs up to revs up your I don't know what the hell that is.
That's fine.
Blah blah blah.
I'm sure
for the past month,
it's not important.
for the past month, you've been enjoying your share of indulgences, but now you're longing to feel more vital again. Hop back on the wellness wagon and healthful meals, heart-pumping exercise, and solid night's sleep. Since there's no way around a busy work schedule, devote time to streamlining your systems and getting into an organized groove.
Ah. Okay. Boy, and that came out just for which week?
That was this week.
That was this week?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Right after, right around the time people would be starting to drop off of their New Year's resolutions.
Imagine that, right?
Hey, no, be healthy.
So in
Keep
the
doing
earlier
what you're
one,
doing.
you can step off the emotional roller coaster you've been riding for the last month and breathe a sigh of relief and back in the solid ground is ready to take new challenges. That was, the Aquarius. And for the past month, you've been enjoying your share of indulgences. But now you're longing for more blah, 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 blah.
For the past month, I've been enjoying my share of indulgences. For the past 2.5 decades, I've been enjoying.
I was gonna say
my share of indulgences.
That's pretty relative there, right?
Yeah,
You gotta love these things.
I mean, again, it's what you put into it.
Yeah, and I will agree with that person. If you're using it to, make you ask questions about yourself and that, and to be a better person.
Do you really need that though?
Some people, I think so.
Why?
I don't know, because I think no matter how many times I tell you something that's beneficial for your life, it's coming from me, right? A seemingly biased person in some way. Maybe, arguably.
I don't like how you're using it this time, but all right.
It's coming from an unbiased source, and
the stars,
yeah, and maybe that's helpful to you. Sometimes I can say like I know that I should do X, Y, or Z, but unless I hear it from a certain person that I really truly respect and care about and really grab onto, I don't listen to myself. I listen to other people more than I listen to myself sometimes. I'm
gonna catch shit for this because again, anytime I disagree, it's just of course you disagree. You're a Virgo, but I say fuck all that shit, and if you got something in your life that you want to figure out, just fucking do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with you.
To tell me,
right?
Like, I was gonna stop beating my children, but I just couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, my horoscope came out and it said, "Hey, you've been beating your kids a lot. Fucking knock it off." And so and I stopped. No, just that's the same. Isn't it the same thing?
Maybe. I guess so.
It's an extreme example of it.
It is a very extreme
same
example.
idea. Yeah. Hey, I don't want to keep eating fucking French fries. So, now that my horoscope says to stop eating French fries, I guess that I should probably start eating a healthier diet.
You know what we should do?
Drugs. Oh, wait.
That's later.
Okay.
You know what we should do? No, I'm kidding. What we should do is take all the people that really believe in astrology and put them in a zoo.
Okay.
And research them and check out them in their own environment and do all that stuff and make sure we preserve the species.
Why?
I don't know. I was trying to relate it back to something here. I was really struggling.
Go back to the zoos, trying to do a call back to get back on the subject.
Yeah. No.
You think the tarot card readers would see that coming?
Well, that is a good question. Well, that's the thing.
Wouldn't.
Things aren't. So I did. Let me tell you a personal experience that. I don't buy in all this crap. I do believe. I don't want to say believe is not the right word. I do believe. I'm going to say it again. I believe there's a possibility that people have, and we've talked about this before, some kind of sixth sense. Not to use that term again. So instincts, whatever. Maybe there's a vibe in the universe. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It's very stupid. I get it.
No, you're painting it as you don't know.
Right.
And it's a feeling and a sense, and it's everybody interpreted different. It's fine. You're not subscribing it to, hey, it's because here's where fucking, Mars is today.
Right.
So, okay, go ahead.
I mean, they draw from that or whatever, like a tarot card reader. I don't like messing with that stuff. And one of the things they say is, this isn't predetermined. Like, there is a structure, and this is where you're heading. This is kind of your thing. And you can change if you want to do. You think that's what it is an out?
Yeah, of course it's an out.
Well, anyway, one of the odd instances that it was many years ago. It was probably 2000, and actually I know it was October of 2006.
That's fucking wow.
Yeah, it was October 2006. It was around Halloween, doing a little party, and everybody's getting their tarot readings.
Yeah.
And I decide, all right, I'll do it. And then everybody's laughing, having a good time. Everything's kind of joyful and boysterous, right? So I sit down, I give her my money, and
you paid for it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So again, it was entertainment.
How much was it?
I think it was $10 or $20. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just entertainment.
That's fine.
We're all drinking, right?
Yep.
So sit down.
Could have watched a 12-pack.
Because I'm a skeptic of it. I'm like, all right, well, we'll do this thing. Yeah. But I'm also a skeptic. I'm also a weird skeptic that won't play with the Ouija board because just in case I'm wrong,
I'll play with the Ouija board.
What's that?
I'll play with the Ouija board.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Parker Brothers.
I mean, I get that, but I think people's anyway. Regardless,
that's okay.
So I realize it's irrational too. Just not going to tempt the fate,
Don't give a fuck. Yep, go ahead.
So she starts flipping over the cards, and she kind of she's smiling, happy, having a good time. And she gets about 3 or 4 in. Now I've watched her do this like 6 other people, and she doesn't, change her demeanor. It was all happy, go lucky, everything was good. She gets mine right to this one card. She just stops and she's like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean?" Ooh, that's like somebody reading your X-ray or or your cancer thing and going, oh, ooh. Like, hey, wait a minute, don't say ooh. This is not an ooh situation.
Right away, she probably knew you were a skeptic, and because you probably made a comment in line or around her.
Okay, fair enough.
And so now she's dropping the ooh to get you into it.
Maybe. So I'm into it.
Definitely.
That's what they do. Changed. All right. So I'll fast forward. She asked, can I touch your hand? I'm like, fine, whatever you need to do. And she's like, okay, this isn't bad, but there's just you're facing a lot of change, an immense amount of change coming in the next year and a half. And I'm like, interesting. She goes, it'll work out for you. It will. And it'll be fine, but it's going to be a struggle. She goes, I think she said something along the lines of, are you an artist or, do you paint? What kind of art are you into? I'm like, well, I play music. She's like, expect a change in that. It's going to be something different, right? And then she goes, and gets into the whole relationship side. She's like, something's going to change with your relationship. I can't really tell if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad, but something major is going to change. I know this sounds really vague, but she goes through, but basically in the next year, the band breaks up.
Yep.
I
Yep.
split up.
Yep.
And then I lose my job. All within 12 months. And not to say she saw it coming, but there was a moment after that going, holy crap.
Do you think this ever happened? Do you think anybody ever went and had their tarot read or their palm read or their whatever read, right? And they were like, oh, in the next year, here's what's going to happen. And here's what to look out for. And that person walked outside, walked 2 blocks and got hit by a fucking bus.
Well, no, they wouldn't have seen that.
Exactly. I guarantee it's happened.
Well, I'm sure.
And
again, it's anecdotal. It was one of those experiences that I was like, holy crap. And again, it doesn't mean I buy into it. I think some people have a little bit of sense about the world a little bit more than other people do. Just like some people can see better, hear better, smell better, whatever. I think there's and children can see the world much differently than we can because we get blinded by our own reality.
Bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. So I think there are people that do have that aspect to them.
Do you think the animals in the zoo can see that stuff too? You think they have a...
I don't think so. Can't see over the damn wall, or else they wouldn't be in there in the first place.
That was me trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
So this is going to be called Zoos, and then we expound on astrology and tarot cards a little bit, all in one episode.
All in one episode.
All right. Hey, I'm down.
Well, there are animals in the stars.
Oh.
Right?
Yep.
The bull.
Yep.
The whatever.
Bull, that's Taurus.
Yeah,
I think I'm starting to learn more about this shit than I want. I don't know what Virgo is. I don't know. Is that what is a Virgo?
I don't know what a Virgo is.
Is it a thing? Is it a? The listeners, maybe somebody can tell me if a Virgo is a.
There's somebody right now going, it's this, damn it.
Well, good. Send a message.
Where are they going to send a message to us at?
Oh, ready? I'm still good for this.
All right.
You can send an email to arguablycorrectpodcast@gmail.com, Or you could tweet us at arguablyc,
Tweet.
and then nothing else.
Nothing else. Well, you had to put the comment in there, but yeah.
Oh, I thought you said comma. And I'm like, there's a comma?
No comma.
I don't know how to tweet. I downloaded Twitter on my phone.
Did you really?
I did.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to work it.
It is. Maybe my age is going to show here. I have trouble with it too.
I opened it up, and I think people sent me some stuff, but I don't know. And then I just sort of closed it, and then I turned notifications off, and I haven't seen it since.
There you go.
So apparently it's not important.
Well, it's important if you, our fans and listeners, are sending us messages. It's absolutely important. But otherwise, just send us a damn email. We can figure that out.
Maybe we should get my cell number out. Get a text.
We should get a phone number.
I probably shouldn't do that.
Should get a phone number, and people can call and leave us voicemails, and we can go through them during the show. What do you think?
Oh, let's do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then just random ones like, I think you guys should talk about how old ladies always. I don't know.
Is that your old lady voice?
It was.
That was not. That sounded creepy as fuck.
Old lady.
No, we should do that. We should let's put a poll up and see if anybody wants to call and leave us voicemails. I like that. I like to hear people.
Yeah.
We could play them.
Sad as we pick it up and it'll be like, oh, is this Marco's Pizza? Sorry.
Right.
Damn it. That's the only call we got today, folks.
Yeah. Let's do that. I like that idea.
Let's do that. All right. We'll figure out one of these ways.
I want to get yelled at by people.
Yeah.
Astrology's real, you dumb motherfucking Virgo. I can't wait. Yeah.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jay.
And this has been Arguably Correct.
Thanks for listening.